We're starting with breaking news on Denver 7. I'm Jessica Crawford.
And I'm Katie LaSalle. One person is dead and 8 more injured after a night out went wrong in Golden overnight.
Denver 7's Brandon Richard is at the scene right now. What are investigators telling you so far, Brandon?
Well, more than 7 hours after this all happened, Jeffco deputies remain here on the scene out in front of Rock Rest. This is a popular bar here in Golden. Investigators say 1 man is dead this morning and 8 people were injured. 4 had to be hospitalized after this hit and run overnight right in front of this bar. Now, the Jeffco Sheriff's Office says this appears to have all started as an argument. They say witnesses and employees of the bar told them they believe this argument was gang-related. They say that eventually led to the driver of a white Chevy pickup truck plowing into a group of people who were gathered outside on the street in front of the bar. And deputies rushed over to the bar at around 1:45 this morning and found a very chaotic scene.
Well, it's tragic first and very chaotic. When our deputies first responded to this scene, they said there were about 50 people gathered around outside. And of course, we have victims laying on the ground. We have victims that have sustained more minor injuries. Fire had to transport many victims. So that's the scene that we arrived at here this evening.
Such a scary scene there. Investigators say after plowing through that crowd of people, that white Chevy pickup truck sped off, but deputies were able to catch up with that truck down the road and took the driver and 2 passengers into custody. They say in all, 8 people were hurt. Again, 1 man killed, 4 people had to be hospitalized. They described the other victims' injuries as minor. And you know, it was such a chaotic scene, as you heard there, that it's taken deputies several hours to be able to comb through the scene, gather their evidence, and of course try to track down and speak to as many witnesses as they can to figure out everything that happened here. We're live in Golden this morning. Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
Brandon, thank you. Certainly hoping more is uncovered here soon. Well, here are some other big stories that were following for you this weekend. That missing woman in Thornton that we told you about yesterday morning, police say she now could be in danger.
66-year-old Deborah DeVault was last seen walking in the area of 103rd in York around 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation has now issued an endangered alert for her. Police say she is anywhere from 5'3" to 5'5". Her hair has grayed since this photo was taken. She has hazel eyes and was last seen wearing a long blue coat. If you see her or have any information, please call 911.
There are now 5 people in police custody in Larimer County for drug trafficking. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office is now confirming these 5 people are allegedly part of a group distributing cocaine. Investigators searched 4 locations in Loveland, Fort Collins, and Frederick and found $64,000 worth of cocaine, more than 3 grams of fentanyl, 17 firearms, more than $40,000 in cash, 500 Xanax pills, as well as other drugs. Detectives are still looking for 3 more suspects involved. Well, Russell Wilson is now recovering from a partially torn lat muscle. Denver 7 has confirmed that Wilson flew to Los Angeles on Friday to receive a platelet-rich plasma injection to hopefully relieve some of the discomfort in his throwing shoulder. This injury is more often seen in baseball players and, according to the NFL Network, is not usually treated with an injection. It's also worth noting Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott dealt with a similar injury last year, and he rested nearly a month to let it heal. Wilson is not expected to do that. He is planning to play a week from Monday against the Chargers. Well, it is 9:03, and what a beautiful start to our Sunday here across the region. Crystal clear skies. We're in for a sunny Sunday here across the state with temperatures warmer for the Denver area, gradually climbing to the 70s. It has been a cold start to the morning into the mountains, but quite normal for this time of the year. Still seeing that snow lingering on Long's Peak, but we're in for a dry day over our northern and central mountains and across the plains. Not too much going on, a pretty quiet weather pattern. Alerts in place. None. We did see a frost advisory over the northeastern plains early this morning, but that expired at 8 a.m. Temperatures outside now, we're in the low 50s downtown and out to the airport, where winds are sustained from the west just at 8 miles per hour. Relatively calm conditions, a lot of sunshine. Right now we're in the 40s and 50s across the plains, 30s and starting to see some 40s filtering into the mountains. But later on this afternoon, we're in for sunshine, temperatures around 65 degrees by noon and daytime highs in the low 70s. Even warmer to start the week. I'll take you through the full forecast coming up. In international news this morning, Russian divers are expected to examine the damage done to a road and rail bridge today after that explosion you just saw on your screen. It took place yesterday and killed 3 people. ABC's Ty Hernandez has the latest.
Some traffic is now crossing a damaged bridge connecting Russia and Crimea. Russian officials say traffic is moving on the part of the bridge that remains intact. That bridge is badly damaged after a big explosion on Saturday. Russian authorities say a truck bomb exploded on the bridge, causing several railway cars to catch fire and resulting in a partial collapse.
So this is a stunning victory for the Ukrainians on the battlefield, but it's also a stunning blow to Putin and to the Russian people.
These satellite images show the extensive damage. Fire and smoke can be seen coming from a tanker train on the bridge's railway line, while a substantial part of the roadway lays partially submerged. Russian President Vladimir Putin is ordering a commission to investigate the explosion, and Russia's deputy prime minister visited the site on Saturday to see the damage firsthand. He was seen discussing repair plans with workers. Putin also ordering tighter security for the bridge and for the infrastructure supplying power to the Crimean Peninsula. Ukraine not claiming direct responsibility for the attack. But in an address, President Volodymyr Zelensky references the explosion, describing Crimea as cloudy but warm, adding Ukrainians are looking toward a sunnier future without invaders, particularly in Crimea. He also said, quote, "If the occupiers flee while they have the chance, that will be their best option." The attacks as Ukraine continues to break through Russian lines in the south and eastern parts of the country. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
Now to Asia, where the Japanese Vice Defense Minister is condemning North Korea's latest missile launch, which happened overnight. Toshiro Ino says the missile tests are absolutely unacceptable and threaten international peace and security. Reuters reports this latest launch from North Korea is the 7th in recent days. The U.S., South Korea, and Japan have already responded with their own missile exercises. These are photos from Thursday. Experts have warned North Korea's recent tests could point to an even greater escalation in weapons testing. Since May, officials said that North Korea may be preparing for a nuclear test. It would be the country's 7th underground nuclear test and the first in nearly 5 years.
Coloradans are coming together to bring awareness to distress in the Middle East, while organizers of this rally are saying that there's a genocide about to happen in Afghanistan.
And we are now officially less than 1 month away from the midterm election. How some people in the metro made their voices heard on what they say is the next move for reproductive rights here in the U.S.